being re-enabled as well, too. You know, Faker played a great Ignite Victor, and here we go. Picks and bans for game number 1 between SK Telecom and the KOO Tigers. And we'll see what ends up being chosen. It's good to have Victor back. You know, I mean, it's understandable that he was banned for so long. I mean, he's a very high technology champion, so there's going to be a few bugs to work out in like the extra hand sort of software and all that. So really, I mean, are you really surprised that Victor has been crippled by bugs?
No, I'm not.
It fits the lore.
He needs to go back to the lab. And
I applaud Riot for having the most buggy champion be lore appropriate, at least in the fact that it's really buggy. So there we go.
And there's Victor a big Victor ban from SKT. They're targeting KOO right here pretty heavily right now, even though the KOO Tigers have not had a lot of success recently running that Lulu and taking out Kalista as well. Bang is professionally undefeated still on Kalista. LeBlanc no longer drew a Faker, but he is
undefeated in Korea, man.
He is now undefeated in Korea.
We'll cling to that stat any way we can, apparently. So what's the final ban?
Being 12-1 on a champion is still pretty ridiculous.
It is still pretty good. Yeah, it's still a very nice win rate to have. And wow, interesting. The Maokai banned against Smeb. All right. Well, again, you know, Maokai is certainly a champion that can make a big difference, and Smeb has been the one making the big difference in the KOO Tigers game so far this season. So targeting him a little bit, not a bad idea at all. And what's the last ban for the KOO Tigers going to be?
Taking a long time thinking about this one. It'll be the Varus.
Wow, okay, so just not wanting to deal with it, I guess. Now, do you think you go for something like maybe an Alistar first pick?
Yes.
Maybe, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think they will, just because that has been such a priority for SKT. I actually would have banned the Alistar out here instead of the Varus, but
I was a little bit surprised,
especially if the Tigers want to take this Sivir Gragas in the first round. I think they have so many tools to get on top of Varus in that situation that you don't necessarily have to take it away. They could be worried about KOO's laning phase constantly getting poked out, however. As a team, Sivir Gragas, you can definitely deal with the Varus.
That's a good point. So 2 more picks over to SK Telecom. Cassiopeia would be a very strong pickup for Faker, of course.
He is still professionally undefeated on Cassiopeia.
True enough. Bang's been playing plenty of Corki. Bang's been playing pretty much plenty of everything in the meta right now. As far as junglers go, you've still got a lot of good options for Bengi, so I suppose you don't really need to pick anything for him now. He's got the Rek'Sai he can choose, which I think, you know, if I had to think about jungle threats, I feel like Rek'Sai is a bigger threat than Faker's Varus, if we're really talking about how big this Varus ban is.
Yeah, and you could just be going for the Evelynn.
That would be a bit
looking to deal with this Gragas, apply some early pressure like the Gragas can.
True enough.
So when we have Rumble already locked in for Marin, of course, one of Marin's best champions. We often see bans against SK Telecom that particular pick. They've got a lot of long-range engage, so this is going to mean that the KOO Tigers can't pick something too stationary in the mid lane or AD carry position if they don't want to get flanked.
It's already making that Sivir pick a bit risky. You know, I mean, picking it so early, do you think that was too much of a chance?
You can just run forward onto the Rumble and avoid the flank, and they're going to go ahead and take the Azir and the Hecarim.
It's starting to look like a KT composition coming out of the KOO Tigers right now. Lots of hard engage.
Yeah.
Heavy dive.
Yeah, this will be really interesting. Much more fast-paced, balls-to-the-wall composition from the Tigers than we're used to seeing. They tend to be a more reserved, poke-heavy team, generally speaking, but they're going to be trying to fight fire with fire here. And what are the last 2 picks going to be? Cassiopeia would be okay here.
What about like a Morgana, actually? Something to potentially stop some of that engage? That probably wouldn't work. I think Cassiopeia is going to be what they're going to go
in the mid lane. I think they need more damage out there.
Okay. Huh.
I don't know if this is a mid Rumble or if it's going to be a mid Aurelia.
Interesting. All right, well, Corki Aurelia chosen, and Gorilla may just be going with that safe Janna pick, but KOO Tigers have got to be scratching their heads right now. Yeah, I mean, if you look at Gorilla on your screen right now, he looks a bit confused.
Yeah, I think you just take the Janna because you want to disengage, and as soon as the Q is used onto Aurelia, she just has to run back in. I don't know which one of these Faker is going to play. I would suspect this is a mid Aurelia.
You know, I mean, he has played plenty of mid Riven in the past. I mean, playing some of those melee AD mids isn't without precedent for Faker, so Maybe?
Regardless, SKT has set them up for a 2-item power spike with this team composition pretty much. If it goes late, they're going to have a lot of problems. Same could have been said, and in fact was said by me last week about their Vera Solution Nunu comp. But they executed the timing very well. They baited Najin into a bad fight and a bad timing for Najin. So it will be Janna at the support position, looking just for some more peel in that back line.
Maybe this will be a mid-rumble after all here.
I mean, they have 4 melee champions, and it should be mid Aurelia. That would be my assumption here, because you're going to be able to get on top of the Azir and stun him very effectively.
Well, it is. They've got about 15 more seconds to switch it. You're allowed to change champions up until 20 seconds until the lobby ends.
Yeah, pretty sure we're going to stick with this one just because Rumble would have a harder time farming in the mid lane against the Azir.
That's true.
Generally speaking, doesn't have that same sustain that Aurelia has with E10 style.
Ah, well, Faker on Aurelia.
Stofe looks very confused right now in the booth.
No, the agony of the no-fake continues, man. The Champion Spring Finals were pretty rough for him, and it's not looking any easier running into SK Telecom here in their first duel in the summer season.
Well, I can tell you right now, I don't even have to look it up. This is Faker's first game on Aurelia professionally. Well, this is why Faker's Faker. He can pull out such a staggering array of champion picks and matchups that it's extremely difficult to prepare for him. We'll see if this counter pick to Azir works. I am obviously quite unfamiliar with this matchup, but it'll be interesting to see what Faker is going to be maxing in this lane. I would assume E.
Faker is like the only person who, when he says he can play everything, he really can play everything, guys. And let's see who takes game 1, SKT versus KOO Tigers. Let's get in the game.
타이거즈는 기세가 언제 살아날지 지금 좀 불안한데요, 확실히.
All right, wow. That's exciting. As we go into SK Telecom T1 versus KOO Tigers. SKT fans and the KOO Tigers fans as well packing the studio today. Pretty high-profile match to start things off with, but certainly a match that on paper or based on recent results seems a bit one-sided. Wow, Bengi taking some pretty heavy damage from Smeb, but dealing a bit himself as well with those hate spikes. Marin coming up. Doesn't even need to throw out one of those harpoons. Oh, Marin. Ooh, this is interesting. Bengi actually taking a lot of damage.
That's actually really huge.
Yeah, it is. They prevent that recall, and that's going to make it a bit tough for Bengi to get back in position in time.
Well, Wisdom taking quite a bit of damage as well, but we can see Smeb right there just burning an early flask charge since he's going to be going to a jungle camp anyway and then recalling to refill his flask. So that little bit of harassment, Bengi does have a chance to go back at this stage. And
a little bit slower start, though. Not going to be out in the jungle at 154 like you would normally want to be if you were playing jungle.
And Grog is still going to be delayed as well. And here we go. The harassment coming in. Looks like it will be a Q start. And I have no idea what to think about this mid Aurelia, though. Obviously, we're going to be taking a look at this matchup and seeing if we can dissect it a little bit as it evolves.
Faker playing mid Varus, now busting out the mid Aurelia. We just don't know what we're going to... These last 2 seasons, you just never know what Faker's going to pick.
Yep.
I mean, as diverse as his champion pool was before, in 2015 it's gotten like... It feels like it's gotten like twice as deep, you know?
He did play something like 13 different champions last season out of the mid lane, so it was
pretty insane.
Pretty large number. And, of course, Azir, before he gets an ability to move those sand soldiers, if he puts a soldier down, Aurelia can just Q him immediately and start autoing him early, and that's kind of what we're seeing in the mid lane. Playing pretty aggressively. No wards yet down around mid to help him out. Bengi and Wisdom with the slower starts due to that kind of wacky early skirmish.
I suppose after losing a little bit of health, Aurelia would be fairly safe against ganks with the Equilibrium Strike. It's hard to judge, I guess, because we haven't really seen it much, but...
Well, short lane too. She has a good amount of ability.
Yeah, true.
And also she has that CC reduction as well on her passive, so it does make her harder to lock down.
He's been farming well. He does have a tiny bit of a CS lead, but you do get poked when you go in to grab CS. I mean, those Sand Soldiers are going to get auto attacks off. So he will be taking some damage anyway.
Yeah, I really don't know what this matchup is supposed to do. That's why we're going to take a look at it. Can't wait to see what exactly he's going to be maxing. Bang with the 90.9% career win rate on Corki.
Wow. And he's played quite a few Corki games, too.
Was a priority for Korean teams. First pick worthy a lot of the time.
Yep.
Throughout the spring season.
Certainly was. The latest thing, though, to hit Korea is Toboggan Corki.
Yeah, it's very popular recently, isn't it?
It is, yeah. As long as Red Baron Corki never becomes popular, then I'll be
You love
I'll be happy.
the whirring of the propeller, don't you?
I hate the whirring of the propeller, man. It's like the telltale heart in League of Legends. You hear it long enough, you'll just want to like murder your lane partner.
Interesting.
Any support player that's laned
The
with that
homage,
Corki will tell you
the
that.
homage to Poe.
That's right. How could you talk about League of Legends without referencing Edgar Allan Poe, right?
Impossible.
It's so natural, right?
Well, KOO Tigers with this composition definitely going to have a pretty big late game edge. They're going to scale a lot better, so SKT, I'm not sure. I mean, with this Aurelia split pushing early, it could be a major threat, but they need to make that work. Wisdom coming
Wisdom.
in on Marin.
Yeah, trying for a gank onto Marin here. We'll see what he can do. There's the body slam. Marin taking a lot of damage, burns that flash, but he's still very low. Doesn't look like they'll be able to quite finish him off, though.
Yep, Marin again doing that Marin thing. Has a ward in his inventory, does not place it down as he pushes up on Rumble. This is something that is unfortunately rather common for Marin.
It's the comfort ward. You know, he just likes to have it, you know, just in case.
Well, he needs it in his pocket, in his presence. Otherwise, it's no longer comforting
If
to
he
him.
puts that ward in the brush, he can't see it, and then it's not doing him any good, right? He's like, I can't see my ward. Where is it? Is the ward okay? What's happening to this ward?
Probably not. Wisdom's going to come back and lens it.
Probably. The ward's days are numbered.
Okay, well, other than that, not a lot of excitement here early on. Wish we could get Aurelia clicked on so I can figure out.
Just use your imagination like all good analysts do, Monte Cristo.
That's right, the power of the imagination.
That's right. Haven't you ever watched Reading Rainbow? Well, Marin able to stay even in CS more or less with Smeb and push him back under turret for now. Faker actually starting to develop a decent little CS lead against Kuro, surprisingly enough.
Well, he's been pushed back under his turret a lot too, so Kuro's been afraid of walking forward lest he get ganked from behind. So there has been that concern.
I suppose that is
running through his mind.
That is kind of one of the things. Is it's hard not to push the lane with Lucian, you know.
Yep. So Faker hits level 6 first, and then
does a ton of damage.
Just goes for a little bit of an all-in with the Transcendent Blades right there. Holds on to his Ignite, but he does burn Kuro's Cleanse.
Well, Bengi goes on to Wisdom, but Wisdom turning around with a decent amount of damage himself. Bengi may have overstepped his limits a little bit here. Getting pretty chunked down before making it back into the jungle. Meanwhile, Prey getting very low in bot lane. There's the exhaust as they turn around onto Bang. Bang getting very low, and now Smeb comes in. Bang flashes out of the onslaught of shadows. Marin TP's down as well, but Prey manages to make it out. Gorilla low, and first blood goes to Bang. Wow, that was so close, but in the end, SKT comes out with the first blood.
If Smeb had actually hit his ult onto Bang right there, he probably could have cleaned that one up, but instead...
Very patient of Bang to wait for that flash until the last second.
Yeah, so he does in fact turn it around in the end. Bengi looking for a little bit more right here. He's going to at least delay Smeb's recall.
With all those minions there. Well, here he goes.
Nice. So that's just a little something annoying. Marin going to maybe get a slight CS lead as a result of that. But Smeb didn't even have time to buy items yet.
Marin going for the home guard boots, actually, for his first pickup.
That's what Marin loves to do, though. That's just him as a player. He really likes early home guards whenever he can get them. And so he will be just not even going for a hunting, guys. Smeb actually cowl first, so not going to get that early Saber for the challenging smite. That means if he's farming the jungle, he's just not going to get as much money out of it either.
All right. Interestingly enough, Faker because of his ability to dash around, is actually able to dodge a lot of these attacks from the Sand Soldiers.
Well, he also has Phage now, which really helps him with that, too.
Yeah, that does help. Interesting. Again, the CS lead still looking pretty good for Faker in this mid lane.
And it's going to go take a few Sand Soldiers right there. Take some nice chunks, but with that Flask, he just can keep on going back to that sustain. Again, with Aurelia's W also.
Right. E10 style.
And I bet you Kuro's not used to playing this matchup, so there's a bit of mind game advantage there too. Comfort for Faker, well, always some questions from Kuro's end. Bengi still not level 6, still walking up, just protecting Marin's booty up here in the top lane.
His robo booty.
His robo booty.
Bengi finds a pink ward. He's going to set it on fire with his fists and claws.
They really want to make this gank work right now. Wolf not yet 6, so he's going to be pretty squishy.
Oh, headbutt pulverized. Here comes Wisdom, though. Wolf immediately flashes out of there. Explosive cast hits Bang. They slow him down enough to get the kill. Wolf, or Gorilla, rather, gets that one.
The revenge of Gorilla. Now, can they take a dragon off of this? Bengi's up in the top side trying to steal a red buff at the moment.
If they do, well, Equalizer used there. I was going to say maybe they can dive Smeb, but not without that ultimate. Faker. Kuro pushes Faker back under the turret, so a lot of damage done on both sides. Faker coming out a little bit ahead health-wise, but he's got to watch out. Wisdom coming through, but with no ult and Bengi right there, I think Faker's perfectly safe.
Yeah,
and
Faker
he's
also
standing a ward.
He also still has Flash, so if he needs to get out, he can. Bengi wants to go for round 2 right here, but with Gorilla also in the mid lane, I don't think that's going to be an attractive option. They're just trying to cover Kuro as he recalls. So no dragon attempt actually coming in for the KOO Tigers. Instead, just giving Kuro a little bit of backup. Faker's Ignite was blown on that engage. So
that was a nice ult from Kuro to counter that engage. Oh, Bengi. Kuro has to flash back into the brush. No blue buff for him right now.
That was actually really cute by Bengi. Waiting, knowing the timer was going to come up and being able to harass right there. Faker still.
Well, I guess Kuro did get the blue buff after all, so at least he's got that going for him.
Yeah, but forcing that flash against this highly mobile Aurelia is a bit of an issue.
Certainly can be. Faker's just going to swag recall right in the middle of lane.
So there's going to be a big power spike timing here at 2 items for this team. Rumble, Aurelia, and Corki all doing very well, kind of hitting their peak in the terms of power in the game against their opponents with 2 to 3 items, and if they can't make a big lead open up right there, I wouldn't want to go into a 4 or 5 item game against what the KOO Tigers are bringing to the table, because pretty much they're going to be outscaled across the board. They are going to be outscaled across the board, with the exception of maybe Alistair against Janna.
I mean, it was like we talked about with the top Nunu mid-Varus game that SKT played. I mean, they had a very narrow window to make it work, and they did make it work, so let's see if they can repeat a rather difficult comp win here in game number 1 versus the Tigers. Now, nobody's really gone for Dragon yet. SKT with just a bit of vision via that Rift Scuttler. And here comes Wisdom again. They really want to try to focus on this bot lane, apparently.
Trying to find another gank down here.
Oh, I think they spotted him, though.
It's hard to tell from that. I couldn't see myself. And they are just going to actually use the Scrying Orb on that brush that has a pink ward in it.
No blue buff being given over to Faker. And he may just take that right up to the top lane, too. Oh, we'll see.
That was such a nice gank from Wisdom earlier on, where he interrupted the Valk against the wall with his explosive cast. So he made it appear like he was leaving, but it's not the sneakiest Gragas that we've ever seen. He's going to try and be patient and wait this one out, but they may just put another ward in there.
Well, they know he's there. I mean, there's not a whole lot of chances that Bang and Wolf are going to.
Well, they don't know that he stayed there, is the thing. They're
suppose.
playing cautiously regardless. They're at least having some respect for the possibility that it could be there. Kuro's continuing just to try and take some of these Raptors here, throwing his Sand Soldiers over the side, not wanting to walk up in CS, putting himself in a long lane situation. Lots of wards.
So Faker maxing E first on this Aurelia.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought he'd be doing.
Well, you were right. Good job.
Thanks. Well, it's just against the Azir because you assume that when you go in, you're going to have lower HP and therefore get the stun on Equilibrium Strike.
Right.
You have a really, I mean, it's 2.25 seconds in max rank, so it's a really long stun as far as League of Legends goes.
Marin has been able to poke this turret almost all the way down, just a couple more waves, and he should have SK Telecom's first turret of the game. And once he has that...
Gragas again on the bottom side.
Yep. Oh, he's made it all the way into the bottom brush now. And only Bang there at the moment. Wolf is about to get back. But they've got to be pretty careful. Okay, so they see Wolf coming back with the ward. And Wolf is probably just going to check this brush. Yep, just walking right in. Flash headbutt onto Bang. Nice. Cast coming in. Teleport coming in for the KOO Tigers as well. Bang still in a lot of problems. Smeb coming in, and Prey manages to pick up that kill. So another gank on the bot lane, and they're going to try to transition this right into a dragon. Meanwhile, the top turret does go down in favor of SK Telecom at the same time.
So yes, they are trying to at least just snowball this bottom lane right now, trying to take out Bang and Wolf a couple of times in the transition to the dragon. Will they lose a tier 2 in the top side though? Smeb recalling after the dragon has already been taken, so that top turret had a lot of CS just driven into it right there. As we can see, Marin now about 30 CS up.
Yeah.
And has teleport advantage right now, so he has some time to make some pressure plays on the map if he so chooses.
So where do you go, though, with this Rumble? You know, do you try to just watch for an opportunity in bot lane since Dragon is done?
I try and gank mid lane, honestly. Yeah. You can group up right now. You're going to have a double Trinity Force power spike soon with Aurelia and Corki, and you can dive really efficiently by just laying out that equalizer and having the Aurelia follow-up. So try and kill this Azir.
I suppose. Smeb's going to pick up a little bit more farm in the top lane now. Bang has been quite camped on the bot lane, and they catch Gorilla here. Bengi and Wolf in the enemy jungle. Gorilla trying to get away. Nice whirlwind, and he has to burn his ult, but at least he makes it out. Used his exhaust, though, there, too.
Yeah, it looks like Smeb and Marin still dueling right here. Smeb finally has the challenging smite, but he is still a little bit scared. Prey has to back way off this tower because SK Telecom got the deep wards in and did a great job of controlling the bottom side. So he knows he's picking them. He knows they're in there right now. They're taking the blue buff, but there's just nothing he can do about it.
Wow, and after the kills, after the dragon, SKT just seizing control of the bottom half of the map.
Well, this is what was great about what SK Telecom just did. So they knew Marin had pressure topside, and that he was winning the duels with Smeb with his Rumble. And so, as we see Smeb and Marin going at it.
I'd say that's a one duel. Smeb in a lot of trouble, goes down 1v1. Marin gets the kill. Wisdom looking for a bit of revenge. He didn't get the slow on the explosive cask. Didn't quite hit Marin with that ultimate. Marin burned his flash to get away.
But I don't think he could do anything.
So no, he can't get there.
Marin was free to play aggressively because he has 2 pink wards right there and a ward by the Krugs. So gets a great solo kill. And then SKT says, hey, we're going to transition pressure into the bottom side because you have to send one person up to deal with Smeb. So they start the invade.
Whoa, Faker going in on a Prey there. A lot of damage, but taking a bunch of turret hits in the process. I guess Bang and Bengi were there. I thought maybe they could do something to blow him up.
But they blew on the hunt, and they poked Sivir out, so already mission success. So considering they already had pressure, they said, we're putting 2 people in your jungle, and then that meant that Prey was entirely zoned off the turret and he couldn't defend it. So really good map play from SK Telecom, applying pressure in all of the right areas to maximize it. Now Faker's going to start split pushing.
Yep, that's right. This Aurelia is already getting pretty scary with that Trinity Force being done.
SKT has been so good at hitting their power spikes and their timings the last couple of weeks. And again here, this is exactly what they need to do. Get the Aurelia rolling. Who is going to stop the Aurelia right now? Smeb is itemized for magic resist. He can't do it. There's no one else. There's no one else to stop the Aurelia. There's a real threat of Faker just all-inning the AD carry right now. And in the meantime, Bang is just applying pressure in the mid lane with Corki's rockets after the Trinity Force. This is an excellent, excellent timing.
I just feel like
KOO, they have to hold on right now. They have good wave clear. The Azir will allow them to turtle if they need to.
I feel like I want to call SKT the puppet masters this season because they seem to be dictating where the enemy team goes on the map pretty much the entire game long.
Well, the thing is you just can't fall into their trap. If you're KOO right now, you just accept the fact you need to just play passively. You got the first dragon, so SKT can't accelerate the game by getting to the 5th dragon stack very quickly. First dragon was also taken late. So
True.
At this point, if SKT wants 5 dragons, we're still looking at a 45, 50-minute game. where KOO will have a late game advantage by that point. So,
well, that mid lane turret, very, very low. SKT ready to knock down the final outer turret. Second dragon's coming up in about 2 minutes here, too. So, yeah, SKT, or KOO Tigers, rather, I mean, yeah, they can just pull back and play passively, but do you think they can stop the push from SKT?
Oh, yeah. I think they have the long-range poke and wave clear in order to deal with that. The question is who's going to stop Faker. As long as Faker keeps split pushing, that's a problem. That's the biggest problem right now.
I suppose. Oh, Marin up on top of the map right now. They've got the ADC and the top laner there. Smeb coming in. Prey pops on the hunt. They try to push Marin back just a little bit. There's the onslaught of shadows. Nice fear. Marin goes right back into Prey. Drops that equalizer. Can he get back to his turret? No flash. Doesn't look like he'll make it, and Prey picks up another kill there.
And Prey just waiting very patiently in that brush, and they push out very far into that lane, into territory that you would think would be dangerous to make that play, but he's got the backup right there. Now the Tigers putting damage onto the mid lane turret. They're going to get it. Faker is not quite going to get the turret in the bottom lane, but he can deal with Smeb in a 1v1.
Yeah, Smeb teleporting to the bot lane to try to save it from Faker's split pushing. Bengi, meanwhile, gets caught in the enemy jungle. Wisdom goes in for the body slam, does a bit of damage. Nice knock up from that whirlwind. Wolf comes in, pushes Wisdom back again. Kuro joining the fight as well. Faker comes in, but doesn't want to fight that 4v3. They want to wait for Bang to get there, and he almost is. Is he going to Falcon over the wall? He is. Going way in. There's a teleport coming in for Marin as well. Gets knocked back by the Emperor's Divide immediately, though, and it looks like the Tigers are going to be able to disengage, getting poked out heavily, so this could lead to a Tier 2 turret and a Dragon on the way out for SKT. They might just go with the Dragon here.
I think they just go with the Dragon right now and then see what they can do in a little bit. So KOO Tigers playing the map well, though. Got the pick in the top side before the Dragon was coming up, so it was pretty safe for them to do. They take out the mid lane Tier 1 turret at the same time, so they actually get their first tower of the game in that instance, and they get some damage down on the top side also. SKT not really coming out with a whole lot besides the Dragon, and it's just their first of the game. So KOO holding on pretty well right now.
It's nice to get that little boost in attack damage and magic damage, though, for SK Telecom. So we'll see if they can use that to push any farther into the opponent's side of the map right now. They still have the bottom side pretty well warded.
Marin going for the Rylai's first.
Oh, wow.
Wants the slow zones and the control. So they're trying to isolate targets for Aurelia right now to just burn down with a bunch of auto attacks.
Makes sense.
And true damage.
Makes sense.
So not the most high damage build, but this is all is set up for the Aurelia and the Corki when they're at their maximum point of damage, and they don't want KOO to have such a large degree of mobility in these team fights.
I gotta say, too, I've liked the pressure that Wisdom has been able to put on the game so far for the KOO Tigers.
Wisdom's had some great ganks.
He looks very comfortable on that Gragas, and after, the problems that the KOO Tigers were having with Lee, this may be a bit of a bright spot, no matter what happens this series.
Yeah. Okay, well, this is the time, though, for SKT. They have to get more right now. They're only 1,000 gold in the lead. That's not enough.
I feel like this season has been SK Telecom playing a game of what champions can we win with in the mid lane, Like, what should we try this week? Varus? Oh, we did that. Let's try Aurelia this time around. Let's see if Faker can win with Aurelia.
Well, he did put the pressure down on Kuro early, but Kuro has bounced back with some solid CS number. Bengi just going to clear that slow with the Evelyn W and pop right out of the pit.
I think if that all-in that Faker had attempted had worked, we'd be in a bit of a different situation with this Aurelia. And it was close, but Kuro was able to kind of fend it off, and I think that might cause SKT some problems in the late game.
Faker split pushing in the top side. This is where you want your mid laner split pushing if there's no Dragon to be taken right there, because you're responding to the possibility of a Baron in the mid game with your top laner. Typically, who has teleport up, not in this case, but
right. Well, Marin, regardless, pushing that bot lane, and SK Telecom just trying to get a 1-3-1 going and just trying to split up the KOO Tigers. I mean, it's hard to play defensively when you're putting yourself in these kind of risky 1v1 situations, I suppose.
Yeah. Also, Marin, that's really annoying for a melee champion like Hecarim to deal with that constant slowing, because there's no way you can not get kited in that situation by Electro Harpoons.
And if Hecarim gets slowed, he legitimately does less damage, too.
Yep.
Just kind of interesting. Looks like this mid turret is going to go down very soon. Just a couple more auto attacks from Bang. If Wolf had tanked that, they probably could have taken it out. No rush, though. I mean, no real crucial objectives at the moment to worry about. Luden's finished on KOO now, so he'll be having a little bit more damage, a little bit more poke because of that.
Much better vision control. Look at that. 5 pink wards on the map down for SK Telecom this game. 5.
Very nice.
So rare to see that this early on, but throughout this entire game, they've been winning the vision battle. Just getting the deep wards in, keeping their own ward line up, and protecting it very well. There hasn't been enough clearing so far from the KOO Tigers, and that means that they don't have any eyes on Baron right now. That is a very dangerous prospect.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, once you kind of control the vision like this, you make it very difficult for roles like the ADC to try to catch up if they start getting behind too. So Prey not behind right now, ahead in fact over Bang, but still kind of being a little bit on edge.
But they're slowly getting pushed in. But
yeah,
again, KOO have done a very good job of turtling here.
Perhaps a bit too slowly, huh?
Well, yeah, I think SKT, they're missing their window right now. They haven't gotten a whole lot, and it's just been a long time coming. So if KOO doesn't fight this next dragon either, if they just try and give that up, maybe push out their lanes, try and take that tier 1 in the top side, hold on to their mid lane themselves, they'll be in prime position to just head into the late game and
now if that
outscale.
happens, does that kind of put like a lot of pressure on SK Telecom to find a way to get a Baron because you need those sort of big buffs to have some relevance in the later stages of the game?
Or to get a pick.
Yeah.
They have to start using this vision a little better to set up picks and force KOO Tigers to face check something.
Makes sense. Either way, it's still a little bit of a gold lead anyway for SK Telecom. 1 minute away from that third dragon. Both teams with one at the moment. Faker already setting things up with the Rift Scuttler.
Has the Frozen Heart now.
Yep.
So getting pretty tanky.
And not necessarily against magic damage, though.
Well, but 2 of the major threats are physical damage, so that's still going to be pretty useful. And he has the Merc Treads, too. He should be mobile enough that Azir won't be doing too much damage to him in these team fights.
So about 30 seconds now until Dragon for game number 1 here.
This Dragon coming up next. SK Telecom already has a lot of priority on that side of the map. They're going to take the blue buff away as well. Bengi grabbing it, and they don't have mid lane pushed out, which is a bit unfortunate, but it's hard for them to get that edge considering they haven't yet taken out the mid lane turret.
You know, if you let mid lane push up a little bit too, perhaps, you can try to give the KOO Tigers kind of a difficult decision. You know, do they want to maybe try to focus on mid and give up the dragon, or do they try to come in and fight?
Well, Marin is at least pushing the top side up, so there's no way really that the Tigers can trade for something right here. They have to go for this dragon or just give it up right off the bat.
Nice spell shield from Prey. Dragon is live, and SK Telecom looking to take it. They've got KOO kind of bottled up in that little choke point.
Just holding off right there for the moment. And playing patiently. So KOO wants to delay this dragon until Smed pushes that lane all the way back up into the tier 1. So that they can at least trade something if SKT actually starts the dragon. While controlling the mid side, making sure, and there they go, they found Marin.
Yeah, they're going to try to make a pick here. Marin drops it, equalizes. Smeb teleporting in behind, though. There's the onslaught of shadows. Wolf coming to try to save him. Can't do it. Wolf suddenly almost finds himself in a 1v5. Here comes Resk of SKT. They're getting some decent poke in. If they can poke down the KOO Tigers enough, they can maybe take Dragon because of the ults used, and we'll see if they want to trade for this tier 2 here. They've got the Azir turret down as well. Yep, there goes the tier 2. And can SK Telecom even take this dragon?
Really good move by the Tigers. They haven't been that good at setting up these picks. Now they're going to go on to Smet. Faker's there. Faker's taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, not doing any in return to this Hecker, and Bengi in the middle of everything right now, getting totally caught out. Explosive cask used. Wolf comes in. There's a 4-man pulverize. Kuro knocked back into the play, and Faker takes him out. Bang on the run now. Smeb trying to chase him down, but here comes Faker and Wolf from behind. Bengi re-entering the fight, even low health. Faker running from Smeb. Smeb doesn't know which direction to go. Keeps turning around. They eventually get the kill onto Wolf, though. And Prey turning around. Oh, he gets a kill onto, well, Bang actually gets a kill into Prey. Faker, the double kill. Getting those resets, and that is what SKT needed. They actually managed to get the ace.
Believe they got that ace.
That was incredible.
They played the periphery so well, and they scrambled on the outside to force the skirmishes from the KOO Tigers. Faker even flashed on top of Prey and tried to E him, but Prey actually hit his shield right there, and that was such an amazing turnaround from SK Telecom.
And they're even going to get Baron off of Marin still being nearly full health going into this one. What a fight. That was one of the best team fights I've ever seen.
You shouldn't have been able to do that. Let's watch this again. So they get onto Bengi, and Bengi gets chunked out. Remember, Marin's already dead, and yes, they use the ult. KOO gets punted out by Wolf and destroyed immediately. Meanwhile, Faker gets the exhaust off, taking some damage. Remember, he's got Frozen Heart, though. Faker actually uses this Chilling Smite onto Wisdom, I think, right there. And then watch this. Coming back in, there's the Spell Shield from the Flash E, but the damage from the Trinity Force, 2 Sheens smacking him around. And just the constant poke gets the reset from the Sheen-empowered Q.
And why not take another Dragon after that as well? SK Telecom grabbing all the objectives at the moment. I thought Faker was dead to Prey for sure, 100%. And he managed to finish him off. Well, this is SK Telecom. This is just what they do. They just find these opportunities and they capitalize on them like no other team can.
The patience was so good, though. And honestly, the biggest mistake in that fight was probably KOO getting too close to Wolf and getting ejected via the headbutt and then destroyed by Double Sheen.
It was a great play.
If you look at the how poised SKT was in that situation, because what they were doing was they were playing around Sheen there. They had the 2 Sheens, so they kept poking, and they would engage every few seconds with these little bits of burst damage, then pull back out using the mobility that comes from the Aurelia and the Valk on Corki, and then just continuously poking around that. So every 2 seconds, getting a little bit more damage down, and that way they traded so efficiently over the course of that fight. Really spectacular to watch.
They immediately grabbed 2 turrets out of it too, as well. So out of that fight, they got Baron, they got Dragon, they got kills, 2 tier 2 turrets. Wow.
And Blade of the Ruin King now done onto Faker as well. It's just about split pushing right at the moment. They're going to try and 1-3-1 or 4-1 this and continue to gobble up towers and get an even bigger gold lead than they already have. And now they're in a comfortable position where they can take home this game even with the composition. Coming 5,000, 7,000 gold up, they should be A-okay.
You know, and the KOO Tigers were playing well before that happened, and I mean,
they were.
It was such a close team fight too. Like you said, if KOO hadn't gotten knocked out, that probably would have gone differently. Yeah. So it's hard to take away from the KOO Tigers too much with this one.
They did invest a lot in the pick that they made on Damar in terms of ultimates, but it was looking very promising. Besides that. And, the KOO Tigers, I think the mistake there is continuing to try and fight during the power spike that SKT has. I think this is one of the reasons why you want to play more conservatively. If you're the Tigers, just delaying the Dragon.
Smeb in a little bit of trouble. Faker and Bengi catching him. Here comes Wolf, though, to knock him out. Onslaught of Shadows doesn't do enough. There is the Empire's Divide, and Faker still gets a kill onto Smeb. Bengi making it out of the fight here. Faker finally goes down to KOO, but look at this. SK Telecom, Marin and Bang just decide to take an inhibitor while this fight happens in top lane, and they're going to be able to make it out. It looks like Wisdom coming in. He still has his ult, but yeah, the team too far behind. Bengi engaging as well, and SKT, they may have given KOO Tigers a couple kills, but they got an inhibitor in response for it.
Yeah, just good poise. Keep on pushing. Don't worry about your teammates dying too much. Just let them absorb the time of the teammates. I mean, it was a really nice zero wall right there from KOO. But, as I was saying in that last fight, at a certain point, if you know you're going to outscale like the Tigers will, you just be happy you got that kill onto Marin. Maybe you start pushing up the mid lane at that point. You've already denied the Dragon. But fighting in the other team's power spike, even though it was a 4v5, because they had already lost a lot of their big ultimates, problematic, I think. But also, you don't expect SKT to be able to do that. That was stunning.
Man, SKT is going to take objectives extremely fast now that they've got double Trinity Force, double Blade of the Ruined King. It's a bit crazy. So, back to the split pushing. Looks like Faker and Marin maybe trying to make a pick here. There's Equalizer slowing down Smeb a bit. Smeb has his ultimate. Faker coming in. Can he chase him through it? Equilibrium strike. Does that damage. Gets the stun. Smeb getting lower. Here comes Bengi and Wolf. Man, 5-on-1. Smeb not standing a chance. Well, I think things have sufficiently come off the rails for the KOO Tigers at this point.
I'm just so in awe of, if we take a look at that Varus-Con from last week and we take a look at this one, SKT's ability to play around their team compositions is just so spot on these days.
There we go, KOO trying again. Kuro gets blown up, goes down, bang with the kill, and without that damage, SKT able to go in. Heals coming in from Gorilla, pushing back SK Telecom just for the moment. Huge pulverize from Wolf, though, and that is going to be the end of the team fight. A clean ace from SK Telecom, and with the death timers being as they are, I wonder if they can just end it right here.
Yeah, they definitely can. Just they can push through. They have a minion wave incoming.
Yep.
They have two Sheens.
Smeb's back. It's booting him right out
deal
again.
the damage. Yeah, they just want to keep him out of the fight right now. Slowly take down these inhibitor turrets. And
well, WTF, two Sheens. And SK Telecom uses those to take down the KOO Tigers. They're just kind of messing around right now. There we go. The Nexus finished off, and SKT with a pretty stunning team fight into a pretty impressive win here in game number 1.
I can't believe they did that.
They did it. They did it. Believe it, man. It's SK Telecom.
The KOO Tigers made mistakes, but that was a very impressive 4v5 from SKT.
Yeah.
And and the thing that's so scary is that they snowballed that into a win. One 4v5 that they win, the game's over.
Yep.
So great closure from SKT, about as textbook as you can get. And I don't really know what that mid Aurelia was for. I mean, it wasn't like Faker was bad at playing Aurelia. He was great, but it didn't seem to do a whole lot out of the laning phase.
It seems like SKT, though, just has this ability now to put Faker on whatever champion they want. Oster can come back and tie things up. And the bans will be interesting, to say the least.
I don't think they're going to ban the Aurelia. I don't really think that's the reason why they lost that last game. They just got a little bit antsy.
I more wonder, because I agree. I don't think they're going to ban the Aurelia. I wonder if they're going to ban
smarter.
Well, I wonder if they're going to ban the Varus again. I wouldn't think so this time.
All right, Victor will be banned once again by SK Telecom, though. Are they going to ban Kalista away from Prey? LeBlanc one more time, of course. And will it be Varus for the final ban from the KOO Tigers?
I would be surprised. I feel like they can ban something a little bit more useful.
Well, it is a threat, and they're going to ban Rumble, actually, one of those common bans as we discussed, against Marin, known for a long, long time for his abilities on that champion. And now, there's Kalista.
Okay.
So this does free up the Maokai, but I doubt that's going to be the first pick right here. Gragas still available. Sivir going to be prioritized by the Tigers.
Wow, okay. That does give a lot of good options over at SK Telecom. Now, Gorilla's been playing a lot of Soraka and solo queue, and he's always said that he wants to, make that champion work. So a little bit of teasing coming in from SKT there. I don't think we're going to get it picked today, though.
Yeah, and the Naren.
Well, I have to retract that statement. The only way we'll see Soraka today is if Faker decides to play it mid, because why not, Why not?
Why not have one of the greatest playmakers in League of Legends history play an absolutely non-playmaking champion? That's really exciting.
Hey, wouldn't be the first time.
It will be a switch over to that Maokai instead alongside the Gragas. So going for that big-time tankiness in the draft from SK Telecom.
Do you think...
What will Hojin do in response here? A surprisingly few number of jungle bans today. In fact, 0 so far in this best of 3.
Well, do you feel like we might see SKT just default back to that safer, tanky style that we've seen them play so much? The Urgot, maybe the Vayne instead. Not exactly tanky.
No, but they have the Gragas. And again, time and time again this season in Korea, we see the synergy between Gragas and Vayne, able to get that isolation. They also have great peel with the Janna, and they have another single target CC with the Maokai to combo into a lot of Vayne auto attacks. So this is a pretty good composition from SK Telecom. I like Vayne and Gragas quite a bit together.
Yeah, they've got Janna to help as well in terms of keeping Vayne alive, boosting her a little bit, and then separating
now the
players on the other team.
The problem is playing Vayne into Nautilus can be a bit tricky because there's a guaranteed CC that is going to be coming your way in that depth charge, and we could see potentially Lysandra here. Lysandra not a champion we've seen in a long time, but if you want lockdown onto Vayne, and Smeb is really good at playing Lysandra too.
Yeah, I actually really like the idea of this because it bypasses a lot of the things that would normally knock you away with that E, and if you can get in and ult Vayne or ult yourself and catch Vayne, that's a big problem for SKT.
Yep, but it's like they're not going to do it. Could be top Rek'Sai though.
Could be.
Top Rek'Sai, one of the most dominant split pushers, and that's what it's going to be.
Indeed. All right, so the final pick over to SK Telecom. We'll see what Faker plays. Could be anything. We really don't know.
What does he want to play into this Azir? I kind of hope we get to see his Zed again. He still likes to play Zed a lot in solo queue.
Yeah.
It is his top undefeated champion right now, 9-0 all time on that. And it would give them some answers to a split-pushing Rek'Sai as well. So there is a lot of use for it. And again, he's another champion that does really well with isolated targets from the Gragas. So we could see something crazy like, could see the AP Kog'Maw too. Something that Faker's very accustomed to playing, but Faker has not played since the introduction of Luden's Echo.
Well, there it is. So yeah, Faker's going to be playing that Kog'Maw in mid lane. And this could work well. I mean, all that poke damage is going to set up some pretty easy kills for Bang once people get separated.
Yeah, and SK Telecom played a lot of AP Kog in the summer season of last year. However, AP Kog'Maw, like I said, has not been played in Korea since the introduction of Luden's Echo. Obviously, we see it a lot in the LCS regions. After Power of Evil started playing that and realized the power spike that Luden's Echo has. And so it's a big, big poke composition here, being able to poke again and then isolate a target for this Vayne. So there's going to be a lot of preparation before Bang goes in on the Vayne, but Kog'Maw's very vulnerable in the early stages of the game, and I would be scared because a good flank with Rek'Sai or with Eve could be pretty devastating to the back line of SKT.
I think Faker's going to have to play this pick a little bit more cautiously than he's normally used to playing champions as well, too, if he wants to survive to a strong mid game.
Well, the nice thing is you can lose lane pretty hard, as Incarnation showed us in that TSM Cloud9 matchup, and guess what? Kog'Maw's still great. That's one of the things that I really like about mid Kog'Maw is that if he gets level 11, he gets that Luden's, doesn't matter how far behind he is, he's still going to do a lot of damage and have a lot of presence on the game.
Yeah, well, KOO Tigers trying to tie it up. SKT trying to get a 2-0. Let's see who takes it. All right. Welcome to Summoner's Rift. Fans cheering on their teams. And we'll see what SK Telecom can do with this mid Kog'Maw. There it is. Faker playing the Aurelia game #1. Now the Kog'Maw. Played Varus last time. Like I said, you just really have no idea what Faker's going to play lately.
Faker is slowly turning into Power of Evil. I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, as long as he keeps his mechanics up. Bang is using the SK Telecom Vayne skin.
Well, why wouldn't you? Rip Piglet.
He went to the afterlife of North America.
Yeah, it's a pro gaming afterlife, you know.
The Korean pros retirement home.
Yep.
I thought that was China. Could be arguments both ways.
It's pretty much just the rest of the world at this point.
It's true. They release him into the wider world. Oh, Faker.
Oh.
Pretty close. Can't deny the recall, though. Either way, it's a bit annoying for Smeb to get poked out so heavily early on.
Now, we saw Kuve doing so well on this top lane Rek'Sai this season. The scary thing about Rek'Sai is that she's such a lane bully with all of her sustain, and once you get that Black Cleaver, there are a lot of problems with nobody. Pretty much nobody can 1v1. a split pushing Rek'Sai, and you have 2 teleports. So while Rek'Sai is not the most impactful champion in the late game, the map control Rek'Sai gives you is crazy with items. So it should be fun. Rek'Sai should be able to take on this Vayne, I would think.
We will see.
That is another nice thing about the Vayne, though, is she is one of the best duelists in the game. It has the range advantage. So going into that the 1v1 in the split push, maybe Vayne can hold her own in that situation.
Bang tumbling in for more damage against Gorilla. Wolf and Bang just trying to put a little bit of their own damage in on this lane.
The other great thing about split pushing Rek'Sai is the tremor sense, because you don't need wards like a lot of traditional split pushing top laners. You can play more risky. In fact, your teammates can go ward the opposite side of the map in that case.
It's true.
And so there's a lot of really good edges that this Rek'Sai gives you. And
Hojin coming in, and they grab Bengi. Bengi in a lot of trouble here. Gets low. There's the flashes. Hojin flashes as well. Ignite. Isn't enough. Actually, Bengi makes it out. Now Hojin getting low. There's the heal. Kuro trying to save him. First blood goes to Bang. Bang still taking a lot of damage, though. Bengi coming back in. Weird fight. Bang tumbling, getting the damage onto Gorilla, and Bengi with a kill now. SKT, how do they turn these fights around? Faker comes in. Bang picks up another one, and now he's got the 1v1 onto Kuro. Kuro has to flash over the wall, and Bang with the double buffs in good spot. Marin just gets the solo in bot lane, because why not? You know, everybody else is getting kills. Marin didn't want to be left out.
I don't even know how Marin was able to get a solo kill in that bottom lane at level 3 and level 4. Marin not having much mana and having a lot of HP right there to finish that one off. I wasn't paying attention. And Faker living with just a sliver of HP, flashing out at the last possible second.
That was an unmitigated disaster for the KOO Tigers.
Yeah, well, they tried to get that invade down, and it all started with Hojin flashing and thinking he could finish off the kill onto Bengi. Unfortunately, instead of just taking the control over the top side and being happy with that, taking the red buff away, got a little bit greedy, and then they kept fighting even after SKT was trying to turn it around. And Smeb may have been trying to prevent Marin from TPing is probably what happened, because his TP was down while Marin's was up.
Bengi coming in to mess with Kuro a little bit. Hojin's right there, though, but with Wolf, it is a 2v3. And here comes Gorilla and Prey. Bengi and Wolf still chasing. Look at this. Marin coming down as well. Nice double knockup from Wolf coming in. They're going to jump onto Kuro. They're going to get a kill onto Kuro. Marin picking one up. And this one is already getting a little bit out of control.
And there's the TP advantage coming into play. So Marin just has that up, goes into the top side, able to help out with the crowd control on the Twisted Advance. And now, Faker has 3 assists, 5 kills on the board by 5 minutes for SK Telecom. And with a composition that is going to scale so well, this is terrifying for the KOO Tigers.
That's a 2,000 gold lead at 5 minutes into the game.
With this kind of scaling from Vayne and Maokai and Kog'Maw, there's almost nothing you could do here. Like, this should not have been happening this early in the game. SK Telecom should be behind in gold. They should be struggling just to keep themselves in it. And for them to already have such a lead is pretty incredible. You can see Bang completing his Cutlass here before Prey can even get an Avarice Blade. He just has a longsword. I mean, this is real bad.
Yeah. KOO just can't fight at this point. Their only hope is to either get a massive pick, which you wouldn't think SKT would allow, or just farm, and hope for a really good team fight, I suppose.
Well, and that's been the KOO Tigers' consistent problem. It's not their late game play. They do a great job of side wave manipulation. They're very patient in terms of objectives. We see them having great late game shot calling, but they find themselves in a hole in the early game. They get outplayed in skirmishes early over and over and over again. Even in situations where that really shouldn't be happening, they have more power at that point in the game, and they get themselves into a big hole, and they just can't get out of it.
Well, if the KOO Tigers can come back, this would be one of the most incredible comebacks we've seen in Korea in a long time.
Yeah, I would be quite amazed.
Marin jumping onto Smeb again, and I feel like top Rek'Sai 2 is one of those champions that when he starts to fall behind, it gets pretty worrisome.
I just want to know what the hell happened in that bottom lane.
I don't know, man. Maybe he just didn't know his limits, I guess, which seems weird to say about Smeb, but what else do you explain it with? Knock up onto Marin. Smeb taking a lot of damage still. Yeah, Marin looking pretty comfortable in that top lane.
Well, he's got such a lead now.
Oh, yeah. He's got that Catalyst and 2 Doran's rings already.
Yep, so he's just going to, even with that Rek'Sai sustain, Smeb not going to be dealing too much damage considering he has to go for a cowl first as a result of Marin's rather large lead right now. Marin, the question is he going to go Glory or Rod of Ages?
Bang just 2v1ing right now for a while. Why not? Both mid and ADC positions for SKT with a nice little CS lead. Smeb has managed to keep up with Marin, which is
great
nice.
deep wards too. Look at Faker's positioning right now. While they continue to apply pressure, Faker pushes in the mid lane, then just drops down to see if they need him because it's going to be a 4v3, and Bengi just taking all the advantages right now. Gets some damage down.
Well, Hojin took like a full damage barrel too on his way out.
Nice and fermented.
Yep, that's right. The longer it sits, the better the vintage.
Look at the pink ward coverage there too. There's just nothing they can do. SK Telecom's ward coverage and invades have been so good tonight. They're playing around vision incredibly well, and they've had a lot of early pink wards on the map, in both games so far.
Oh, Hojin against the wall. They've spotted him somehow. And Bang nearly getting a kill himself there, 1v3. Man, well, that gank didn't work out, did it?
There's level 6 as well, so Bang does have a level advantage onto Prey alongside everything else. And both TPs up for top laners right now. Gorilla and Prey have to be very careful, especially because Hojin was just knocked out of lane. And they know there's a ward in that brush because Bang used it to get his condemn.
Right. There's a ward a little bit closer for the KOO Tigers to use in case they need Smeb to come down. But yeah, SKT with a very easy position to play from. It's really their game to lose at this point.
Yep. Marin getting pushed back a little bit as Rek'Sai's natural tendencies come online a little bit there to deal some more damage, but
Bengi may be in a little bit of trouble. Yeah, has to body slam over the wall to get out.
Yeah, just trying to take the blue buff, seeing if he could actually make a play right there, and can't, so he'll just back off instead. Faker very comfortably just stacking up his tier in this mid lane.
Oh yeah, he gets to deny a little bit of CS and experience to Kuro too.
Yeah,
Go take his own blue buff.
He's ahead in CS on a Kog'Maw lane.
Yeah.
And Azir tend to be one of those more poke-oriented champions as well, but after that disastrous early game fight, Kuro not really willing to move too far forward, especially since they just don't have vision on the bottom side.
Well, Bang is so strong right now, too, that we just saw Wolf just waltz up into the river. Oh, Hojin a little bit of trouble, knocked against the wall with that explosive cask. Bengi will back out anyway, though. But yeah, Bang could just hold the lane 1v2 while Wolf went up and killed that ward in the river.
And they're just maximizing, just if we look at the way they're playing, Marin is perfectly safe. He's probably not going to die to Smeb and Hojin, considering that there's just not enough damage with this Rek'Sai yet in terms of itemization.
Yep.
Bengi going to take that one. So they just completely ward up the bottom side of the jungle, don't give up the dragon, and they're playing around their lanes, which are the most exploitable at this point in time. You've got to keep Faker safe on that Kog'Maw. He's been able to push up repeatedly to get that CS advantage. And you're taking away their buffs, and Bengi's just taking their entire jungle right now. Here we go.
Oh, Prey taking a lot of damage. Ultimate use, though. There's a knock-up. Exhaust on the Prey as well. Bengi coming in. They're trying to make a plan to Gorilla now. Gorilla flashes out. And Prey and Gorilla heavily chunked, but it looks like they'll escape with their lives intact, though.
Yeah, Bengi didn't have the explosive cask right there. He used it on Hojin in the jungle earlier, so there was no real follow-up to that gank. Just a little bit of damage, and Hojin there now wants to do something. Bengi's going to have that cask up pretty soon, however, so they can't hope for an extended fight. Smeb did have teleport right there. Meanwhile, Marin did not. Had to teleport back into topside, but Smeb not going to use it.
And meanwhile, Smeb still doing okay in the top lane, all things considered, keeping up on CS.
Well, he's winning in terms of lane pressure now, and Marin has a couple more minutes to wait for his TP. He went back, picked up some components for a Frozen Heart to deal with the Rek'Sai, but the Rek'Sai is really hard in top lane in a one-on-one environment. now. A little bit of a deep ward right there. Looks like Smeb just faked his back and now is going to push up one more time. Just keep Marin around as long as possible.
Well, not a bad idea. Hojin trying to do a little bit of counter jungling himself. Going after the Raptors while Bengi takes the red buff here. And actually, Hojin coming in. There's the smite. And body slam onto Hojin. He's going to try to make something happen here. Wow, Hojin actually taking a lot of damage. There's explosive. Kasky may be in big trouble. No flash available. Gorilla comes up. Can he save him? No. Bengi with the kill there. Gorilla slowing. And he's going to try to make it himself too. There's a knock-up onto Kuro as Wolf comes in to the upper jungle. Marin kind of coming down to see if they can maybe do something here. But they don't even need to. They've already gotten the kill onto Hojin. They've already pushed Smeb back.
I mean, Bengi's 2 levels up. There's almost nothing you can do. And what Hojin is doing is he has to take risks to help get his team back in the game. If he doesn't do anything right here, if he doesn't deny Bengi in some way, he's already been starved out of his bottom side of the jungle almost completely. He's had his own blue buff contested. He has to go somewhere. But Bengi is really outsmarting him right now and choosing kind of where Hojin goes and is showing up at the right time for the kill.
Yeah.
But he's just, I mean, look at the farm difference. He's 20 CS up out of the jungle. It's a disaster, really.
Yeah, pretty much. Gold lead has been slowly increasing, too, for SK Telecom. And as Bang takes down this top turret, it'll get a nice little boost. Prey doing a little bit of damage to Faker. Kuro coming in as well. Faker forced to flash over the wall. But here comes Kuro. Flash Emperor's Divide onto Faker. Nice play. Faker trying to do enough damage to Kuro. Can't quite finish him off, though, so there's a pick that the KOO Tigers needed. Oh, it was close. Kathy in surprise.
Yeah, Kuro had to use his heal right there in order to get out of that. Faker caught out alone in the middle of the map, and with that kind of mobility from Azir and the Sivir ult, that's probably not something you're going to go get away from.
Well,
good play from Kuro, though. It was a good Emperor's Divide.
Bang gets the top turret anyway, so didn't end up too badly for SK Telecom. Ultimately, that objective more important than Faker's life.
And let's talk about this. Faker has 3 assists. He's ahead in CS, actually.
Yeah.
And his first death is at 15 minutes or 14 minutes on Kog'Maw. This is, by mid-Kog'Maw standards, not a bad game, actually.
No,
you should not be this far ahead. In fact, he probably should have died already. Most teams just focus that Kog'Maw and abuse him early on. But instead, he actually has an even lane, which means that this Ludens that's coming up soon is going to be really scary.
There comes Vayne with an already completed Blade of the Ruined King and Berserker's Greaves.
Oh, it's nice to have it 14 minutes into the game.
Yeah, I'm always happy when I can get that, which is never for me, but Bang has it this game.
What a lucky guy he is.
Pretty impressive. Well, Marin just defending his top turret. And Bang, we'll see how quickly he can push down the bot lane. Faker already putting pressure on the mid.
Indeed. Well, it's looking...
You have to imagine, too, that SK Telecom is just going to have the easiest time taking all these dragons, too, when they come up.
Oh, yeah. There's almost no way you can react to the poke damage from Faker's Kog'Maw. And then, so the Tigers they just have to get a flank. They have to flank. Home guard flank with the Rek'Sai, get a flank with the Evelynn. But a lot of their power has already been drained. And even this potent split pusher in the Rek'Sai cannot split push against Vayne. Yeah. He's got a Spirit Visage. He's not equipped to deal with an AD carry. Neither is
Bang!
Prey, perhaps.
Popping that ult. Prey popping is to try to escape here. Gorilla comes in a little bit late. Bang gets ulted. Gorilla looking to get a bit bloodthirsty, but here comes Wolf with the shield. Now Gorilla in a lot of trouble. Tumbling under turret. There's a double for Bang. And the heal. Oh, Bang, come on.
That was actually a misplay. He didn't expect the Monsoon to come back in, so he sort of walked back under the turret. Now Wolf is going on a suicide mission to prevent Hojin and Kuro from getting that kill.
Gets poked once, and that's a kill for Kuro. So Bang doing his best OQ impression while Faker takes down the mid lane turret. Things could be worse, but things getting a little bit goofy there for the moment.
Yeah, and that tower going down is pretty important.
Oh, hello.
Okay.
Well, that just happened then. And Hojin trying to put a little bit of hurt onto Bengi after seeing his mid laner just get absolutely evaporated. Bengi getting very low. Smeb coming in as well. Looks like they will be able to get the kill on Bengi eventually, I'd imagine. Faker raining damage down from the top, though. And Marin coming in. Twist advance onto Prey. They're going to keep going with this, but it's a 4v1 right now. Can Faker zone well enough? Wow, Marin already getting so tanky here. Bray doing a decent amount of damage, though. Faker needs to be careful. Knock up onto Marin. I think SKT is starting to style a little bit here onto the KOO Tigers. This is a sustained 2v4, and Marin and Faker get the kill anyway.
And Faker doesn't have Echo yet. Doesn't
No.
have Echo. Impressive.
Wow.
Well, also, super fed everyone.
Yep, super fed everyone. Yeah, Righteous Glory done for Marin now. Zeal added on for Bang after that tussle in the bot lane tier. Still stacking for Faker. Can probably go back and finish that Ludens when he next returns to Fountain. Bang going to take down the bot lane turret. There's like an endless list of good things to say that are happening to SK Telecom right now.
Well, they gave away a large minion wave and Bang's going to die.
Well, sometimes it's worth it if you can go 1v1 the prey. Oh, not quite. It's close.
The fact that he nearly killed somebody in a 1v3, though, is not a good sign.
I don't think we're really seeing the most serious play suddenly out of SK Telecom.
They got the turret, though, so definitely worth the trade because Bang
I would say so.
Wasn't worth that bounty gold anymore either, so that's definitely a valuable trade for them to make. And SK Telecom continuing to pull further into the lead. And when will Faker go back and actually buy items? I guess the time is now.
Yep. Oh, no. Got to kill that ward first. Money. Oh, got to stay in lane for a while now.
He really needs that Echo.
Yeah, well, Baron's coming up in a minute 30, so if you can push this lane up, there we go. Now just recall, pick it up. You know, you got to be ready for that 20-minute Baron, right?
That's right. Well,
yeah,
Bang's going to be going for the 0 wave clear build with the Phantom Dancer.
That's okay. You've got Maokai and Kog'Maw to take care of the wave clear.
Going for
Gragas, too.
The sick 1v1s.
Yep. Why not, you know?
Okay, so Echo and Archangels completed at the same time, and
sure,
he's getting pretty close, I would imagine. Probably another 3 or 4 minutes until that Seraph's Embrace is done. Be a little bit sooner.
Why not?
And now Marin having
also 1v3 is going to casually stroll away.
Is there another way to stroll besides casually? I think it's implied.
Aggressively?
No.
I don't think so. Lackadaisically?
Lackadaisically.
Yes, you can stroll in like a relaxed way, but you can also stroll in like kind of like a lazy, apathetic way. So there you go.
There you go. Just have some ults there.
Yeah. Have
Gorilla.
some ults.
And again.
Whoa, that's a lot of damage. Kuro. Uh-oh, he's in the gauntlet now. Time to play some Dance Dance Revolution. Meanwhile, Gorilla just dies in bot lane. Eventually. Trust me, he will. He will. Don't worry. There we go. Okay, I was right. Now, Bengi may. Oh, nice ult from Wolf, actually. Bang entering the fray. Kuro pushes him back with the Emperor's Divide. That's a lot of damage onto Bang, actually. SKT still playing a little bit silly. And Bang probably going to... Whoa, not quite yet. There we go. Kuro picks up the kill there. Meanwhile, more action as Faker goes after Prey. Mid laner versus ADC, but now everyone on KOO turning around. SK Telecom, we don't want to be here all night. Come on. Come on, guys.
Meanwhile, Marin's taking a tier 2 turret in the top side. Reminder that was a 4v5 the entire time.
I guess so, yeah. This is like we've jumped off of the tournament realm. We're now spectating a solo queue game going on right now.
Just happens to contain all the KOO Tigers and SKT members.
Yeah, well, they're just using their names. It's not really these guys, you know. Well. Okay, then.
That was a bold play from Bang, tumbling into an Azir that he knew had ultimate up and an AD carry. So basically you just pounded his face into a wall and then got auto-attacked a bunch of times by Bray.
Showing us the line between brave and stupid is indeed extremely thin. Yep, confirmed.
Thank you, Bang.
Yeah. This is just his homage to OQ game.
He's like, I didn't want MVP this game anyway after that great team fight early on.
And
Bang. The big lead that I got.
Yep.
Well, they can do Baron really fast with Kog'Maw and with Vayne right now. So
yes, they can.
That's one of the faster compositions you could do it with, of course, with the percent damage coming in from Kog'Maw, regardless of whether he has a Blade of the Ruined King or not.
Well, Luden's finished for Kuro now. I think the most base in League of Legends is when you destroy a Rek'Sai tunnel. If you have like the base turned up, just like shakes the whole room, you know? Rumble doesn't even rumble as much as that does.
No, Rumble hardly rumbles at all.
No.
It's mostly just squeaky and annoying.
Yeah.
There you go. One ult. Corelli. 2/3 HP now. And we talked about the damage to champions for the last time Faker played a poking mid laner with that Varus, and this Faker's skill shot accuracy, you don't want him on those poking champions. We remember what he used to do on Nidalee, and it was spectacular, but ugly for enemy teams because of his spear accuracy. And now we're starting to see that come around again.
I want a Kog'Maw skin that has like an orbital laser strike for an ultimate. You know, you just shoot up like a little laser beam to help target. Use the orbital laser thing from Earth mode that one week.
Here we go.
Yeah, Martin is coming in from behind onto Gorilla and Prey. There's the ult onto Bang, and he's locked up for just a moment here. Prey popping the ultimate, backing off. Martin's going to chase with that twist advance anyway. Kuro coming from the river right now. Faker entering the fray now with a lot of damage. Bang extremely low. And there's a kill actually for Bengi on the Prey before anything else happens. Hojin on the run now as well. Martin and Bengi chasing down Gorilla. There's a kill. Kuro manages to take out Wolf, but a double kill for Bengi as SK Telecom looking to finish this one up. Martin comes in for the kill onto Hojin, and SKT having to back off, having to play it safe. Smeb and Kuro on the run right now. Bang and Faker coming in for this one a second time. There goes Smeb. Faker with the kill there. Kuro the only one left, and he is not in any position to fight. Backing off, trying to run for his life, and that's just going to be more objectives for SKT.
This is just SKT being so far ahead right now, but Kuro actually team fought that really well. He divided the team up so Faker and Bang couldn't actually clean that one up.
Right.
If Bengi and Marin didn't have such an insane advantage already and weren't so fed, that fight probably would have gone over to the KOO Tigers. But again, the Tigers showing that they can hang with it in terms of team fighting and strategy in the late game, but they get too far behind early.
Oh
Goodbye,
boy.
Gorilla.
Goodbye, Gorilla. Well, that was not a long life for Gorilla after he came back.
And look at this, too. Here's the teleport on the way in and gets onto Gorilla. Gorilla gets caught out a little bit, but watch the Sand Soldiers from Kuro right here because he does a lot of damage with the tools that he's given, and he's going to be able to zone them out. Great Monsoon from Wolf to save Bang. He gets a little more HP. Then he's going to get the exhaust onto Hojin. But Wolf and, Mar and Bengi going in onto Hojin. There's the flash twisted advance to finish the kill. And Kuro just constantly dealing poke damage from the outside. He's doing all he can with that Luden's Echo onto the Azir. Getting some more damage down yet again. It's just everyone too tanky on that front line.
Yeah. That really is just it. SK Telecom is just so ridiculously far ahead. Kuro coming in, pushes back Faker with that Emperor's Divide. There's the ult. Wolf pushes people back, though, from Gorilla. Hojin comes in. That's a kill, actually, on the Gorilla immediately. Faker very low as well. Dies. Kill comes in for Prey. Bengi on the run there. KOO Tigers turning this one around off that double kill from Kuro. Marin comes back in, wants to get the kill on Azir. He's able to do it with his ultimate.
And
so
no one...
Still 2 for 3. Here comes Bang.
You can take out this turret and keep on rolling if they want to. Just keep pushing up. Looks like they are going to be able to get away. Final hour popped from Vayne, but no additional kills. And Kuro's Azir is really holding the KOO Tigers in this game in spite of a lack of Baron. That was a great engage against a Baroned up team. SK Telecom was split up. But
wow,
that's about all they could do with that kind of deficit.
And that's the thing. I mean, this would have been a very close competitive game if that huge lead hadn't been taken early on by SK Telecom. It's kind of another one of those. It's like another game where one fight kind of decided the game almost.
Yeah.
Now
that fight early on. So just if you give SKT any kind of lead like that, they're able just to push it through, especially with a composition like the one that they have.
Yep.
And there's the Relonomicon for Kog'Maw as well now.
Why not?
Couple members. I mean, against Aegis, I'm surprised he doesn't have the Void Staff yet. Aegis Spirit Visage, but it's okay. I mean, obviously he's very far ahead in general.
I suppose you get a little bit more CDR from the Relonomicon too, as well.
Now the mana also very important to Kog'Maw. But 2 blue buffs on SKT, 1 for Faker, 1 for Bang right now, so mana is not going to be an issue. Marin can face check whatever the hell he wants right now.
Wolf's like, I can't face check this bush, man. Can you do it? Marin's like, sure, man. I'm tanky Maokai. I can face check any bush. Doesn't matter how many Garens are in there.
Well, he can. 3 items already before this dragon spawn right here and this next fight. The setup is already good for SKT, starting to play a little bit more methodically.
Yep.
This will be dragon number 3. Should be an easy take.
Well, they're still on track for a pretty quick closeout here as well, too. We're still sub 30 minutes, and it's 5-1 in turrets. 3-0 in dragons, 1-0 in barons. 29 kills out of a 27-minute game. I'm happy. I feel pretty good about this one, Monty.
Yeah, I think if you like SK Telecom, you're going to feel pretty good about what happened. Wasn't the most exciting game a lot of the time, just due to the shenanigans that happened very early on.
Sometimes
last game was
to watch
definitely a lot more exciting, but SK Telecom's closure, in terms of their individual decision-making, hasn't been the best, but when we talk about which side of the map they were playing and the timings they were hitting in terms of their invades and how well Bengi played, particularly around Hojin, it was quite impressive.
Game number 2, just because of that early fight, ended up being a little bit more of a victory lap than an actual game for SK Telecom.
So here we go. They got the pressure in the top side too. And they just keep on rolling this vein.
They can close it up pretty casually too, because like you mentioned earlier too, SK Telecom is going to scale so well into the late game that there really is no rush.
It's only going to get worse for the Tigers. The only really great scaling champion they have is this Simmer. And beyond that, they don't have the engage that, besides a flank, really.
Right.
Rek'Sai is not a reliable form of primary engage. Does have the Sivir ult, which helps, however. And Evelyn, look at where the pink ward is in that lane. Look at what that SK Telecom have already done. They have a pink ward right behind them to make sure that that's not going to happen.
Yeah, SKT coming in. Bang actually taking a lot of damage. Has to be a bit careful about going that too far forward. That far forward, because it is too far forward.
It is. It's going to just auto the Gromp, though, and get some health back. And now
Auto the Gromp.
head right back into lane. No Baron. Of course, Baron back up in a minute 30 now. SKT may need that objective to close this one. They don't have the best way to auto the turret just because the Kog'Maw in this composition, even with BioArcane Barrage, not going to be doing the most damage. So what is Faker going to get? Probably Void Staff, I would assume.
Yep,
and there it is. Just one. Buying in one go. Okay.
Oh, and he gets the Sork Shoes too. Yeah, Faker doesn't he doesn't buy parts of items, man. He just buys the whole thing.
There's certainly no rush. He's already in such a lead that he can hold on to a bank of gold and still feel very comfortable about winning these team fights. And now,
why not? Just taking out some wolves. Getting a little bit more CS.
push out the mid lane. Faith Baron should be pretty textbook finish for SKT.
I would say that Baron up in about 35 seconds now. Man, if you're the KOO Tigers, it just has to feel horrible because you know right now at this point in the game, it's probably not going to work out. You know, you would have to get like a miracle fight to win this one.
Yeah, you'd have to get some insane flank. They're doing their best to turtle right now. They have that Azir, which can prolong the lengths of games with those Sun turrets, but a turret not really too impactful right now considering that SK Telecom just wants to take this Baron in 10 seconds and they're going to stop pushing your base after they move the minion waves right up on your doorstep. And here we go.
Yep, Baron immediately started by Bang. Here comes Wolf as well to tank a little bit with the shield, but SKT should have no problem at all taking this. Wow, look at how fast it's going down too. It's not bad. And so there we go. Okay, easy Baron. Marin teleporting, or not teleporting, recalling back to pick up something. I think he picked up Thornmail, but either way he's got the teleport to get back there if they need him.
Grab that Thornmail before rushing to push the bottom lane so they can get as much pressure as possible. And here we go. Right into the siege.
Yep, and this time with those Baron minions, it should go a little bit better. You're going to have to wait for probably a cannon minion wave before they can really put it on.
Look at Prey's
Look
HP
at the
bar.
damage. Wow. Poor Prey.
And Marin just slowly moving up. Gorilla taking a big caustic spittle shot right there. As the ults continue to rain down on the heads of the KOO Tigers.
Pretty much. Here comes the teleport now. Marin coming in, and that's enough to scare the Tigers back. SKT gets the turret, going in onto the inhibitor. Now it's going to go down extremely quickly, and I don't think anyone can stop the SK Telecom bulldozer at this point.
No, now the question is, where are they going to transition to next? Looks like they may just go bottom side.
Makes sense.
Walk all the way across the base, not going to tank the top lane turret.
No, why not?
Up Faker.
Oh, they're going in. Yeah, Wolf flashing away as well, too. Marin coming in. Faker actually taking a lot of damage. Smeb on top of them. That's a kill for Kuro. Bang, though, starting to go a little bit crazy here. There goes Smeb. GA pop. There goes Kuro. Double kill for Bang, actually. There was no GA, and that's going to be about it. Gorilla backing away. Marin just tanking a turret hit for the fun of it. They lost Faker, but they had to commit everything to it, and that let Bang just had a field day.
Yeah, but Kuro has been playing around this Kog'Maw so well that it's a real shame that we didn't get to see a more even early game to see what exactly Kuro was going to be able to pull off to shut down Faker, because his Azir has been quite good in team fights, actually.
Yeah. Well, Gorilla, a support against the world right now. And there's only so much you can do, and it's not enough to take the game. SK Telecom will win it 2-0 in dominating fashion. GG.
Yeah, that's about all you can say. Game 1 was pretty close until T1 had that big breakout moment in that team fight, 4v5 in the mid lane, and this one was determined very early on, them getting a huge edge in a skirmish that resulted in their scaling composition coming into power far before it should have hit its normal spike. And the Tigers, man, again, you look at this team, you look at what Kuro was doing to Faker here in the late game, catching him out and using that as Azir ult very well, but they always find themselves playing from behind. Why does this happen to this team?
It was just that one crucial moment in both of those games that ended up being something they couldn't overcome.
So that'll be the 2-0 for SKT as